Just a Thought, a show that starts with a simple premise and explores how different people view different subjects. The greatest philosophies, the most revolutionary changes, and the greatest inventions. And all of them started with just a thought.
We're going to give it a minute.
The doors are open. Looking for everybody to come on in so we can commune on this Good Friday recap from the 202. What it do from the 202 per usual in the chat. We coming from the chat right here to front and center on Just a Thought. I am one half of this wonderful duo, Yogi G, and coming from you from an undisclosed place in poverty, aka ground zero of Trumptopia and everything that's going on around us. How y'all doing? You gotta say hi to the people, man. What's up, Deborah?
I said I'm gonna give it a minute to get more people to come on in. I'm trying to share it so I can get people on. I see Deborah Luna on there. Good evening.
I about to say, well, while she work on that, I'm gonna say hello to the people because these are my people, A10 people. Miss Deborah Luna checking in. Good to see you joining us on this Good Friday. You could be anywhere else, but you are here with us, and we appreciate you very, very much. I'm super excited about tonight.
Oh Lord, girl. I was looking at that video you sent me earlier with that flood.
Oh yeah. I thought it, I know that we are coming off of a lot of tragedy where you got Texas and the Carolinas that have been dealing with this crazy weather. And I just, as I always got to be DC centered, as you can see, I'm going to take a page out of Mickey and Trevor and Wentus's book and be like, I'm going to call it today. This Friday recap from the 202 is sponsored by Don't Feed the Rats. My God. I know Brother Elliott and talk about the gatekeepers and things like that. And man, oh man, can we relate? Because we got a lot of them and we refer to them. Well, let me speak from I. It's a sacred place that way. I refer to our gatekeepers as rats. So don't feed the rats. That means educate yourself, good people. Learn about a few things and hopefully you'll learn something from today. I know Trevor, we got Trevor with us today, our great producer in the background, helping us bring the message that all things that are happening on our end of the spectrum. And if you're in the chat, we'd like to hear from you. We're giving it a few minutes before we get this train rolling. Just want to make sure we say good evening to everybody on here.
You can start off with how was your week?
Trevor said my end of the spectrum is covered in Red Bull and wine. Man, that's a hell of a look.
Get off them Red Bulls, Trevor.
Listen, at this point, we all need some form of comfort. So let's see. Deborah Luna said the tea is boiling in Flint. Rainstorms, round 2. Man. We were born on 8/10 because of all the things that are happening in Flint, Michigan, for those who don't know. And I suggest that you guys tap into the morning bump to find out all things that are going on in Flint, Michigan. It is really a tragedy to see some of the disconnect that's happening in our communities, especially as you'll often hear me say in the chat, same playbook, different area codes. And that's really what we hope that you get from us being a part of this 810 adventure, is that you understand that this really is not isolated just to Flint. There are a lot of things that we are collectively dealing with, and a lot of times it just gets pushed over because we're not willing to check in and tap in and do the work to make sure that we're not being told lies.
Trevor, you have access to Flip Reboot to put it in there?
Yeah, it's already up and in there.
Oh, okay. All right, I put it on my page. All right.
I hope. Listen, me and Mickey are family without even knowing it. Right? Words are hard. All right. So if I mispronounce your name while I'm saying hello, please hear my heart. You know, not the words that's coming out of my mouth. So Aluna Calloway Lane, good evening. Thank you for joining us on this Good Friday. We appreciate you being in the space. Thank you for tapping in. Hopefully more join us. Honor, you want to get this show started so we don't keep the good people waiting? Travis said he want to know
Yeah.
what we got in these DC streets.
I'm gonna try to see if I can put this video up. Give me a minute. Just keep talking, Yolanda. Talk about what you did this week.
What's up, Queen Hanifa Ayatunde? I hope I said that correct. If not, I'm gonna keep working on my words and get better. Let's see. You said you want Wanda Smith tapping in. Man, good evening. So happy you can join us. What you say, Anna? What did I do this week?
Yeah, what you do this week? I'm gonna show them this little video. This is the video you sent me. Is actually my neighborhood.
Oh man, I've been scratching and surviving. That's what I've been doing all week. Scratching and surviving. Huh?
Can you see it?
No, I don't see the video.
Okay.
Look at that. I can read. Yes. Queen Hanifa. Listen, my DC story will feel so proud to know that at least they left me with one skill set, and that was reading. Because what? Reading is fundamental. Always.
It's not showing. Getting on my nerves.
Well, Deborah Luna, if it was an update on the 810 business, I have to say I need to get caught up because you are bringing fresh news to me. Said that was the same judge that put Eric out of counsel that had his opinion overturned. Sweet revenge. I'm gonna have to tap into that, see what's happening. So for those who don't know, listen, DC is a tale of two cities while Anna is working on the tech side, right? And the reason I can't hear anything, I can't see anything.
I'm retarded. I thought I had it. It's showing over here.
So the reason we're tapping in is because we are a city that people want to be a state, but haven't found a way to convince us that if we give you more power, we're going to be safe. So we're working on trying to get this video up to you so that we could talk more about some of the issues that were happening in DC. And what I hope that you get from a lot of our shows is that in DC, people might think it's sweet. You know, you see that we have a predominant.
Say hi to Sherry Allen.
You just
Can you hear me?
I heard you.
Oh, there you go.
What's up, Sherry Allen? Thank you for joining in, tapping in with us right now. As I said before to the good people, you could be anywhere else, but you're here.
Let me give it. I'm gonna give the
video. Doubling down on that. Thank you. But like I was saying, here in DC, we have a thing where we have taxation without representation. That simply means we do not have a vote. And what is done to us, and rarely do we get an opportunity, probably a little more than most, because they gotta keep us satisfied. Hey Trevor, you wilding in these chats, man. But I appreciate you making sure that we straight. Well, you know, we were given home rule. And what that simply means is that, what's up, Carl Lewis? Thank you for typing in. Good to see you, man. We were given home rule in the nation's capital, and that simply means that the people at the capital were tired of handling city business or local business. And so they pacified us by giving us home rule, which I'm not going to undermine. A lot of great grassroots organizers worked really hard to make sure that we had autonomy to run our own city. But, you know, this came with a catch. They said you can have a mayor, you can have a council, you can have an advisory committee, and you can even have now, at first we didn't have a state board of education, but now we got a state board of education. But when you get ready to pass that budget and them laws, you got to bring it back to the big boss, which is the capital. And right now, we're living in Trumptopia. It's not looking good for us as DC residents. We already got a controversial mayor, which I don't have no ties to, no commitment to. I'm already on Skid Row, so what they gonna do? Put me down the river? It's already happened. So do we got that video happening on it?
I sent it to Trevor. I don't know if Trevor got it because it's not letting me upload it. But anyway, I just give a minute. Basically, the video was Yogi G sent me a video, and it was something. When I looked at it, I said, "That's my neighborhood." You see all around we're having floods. And I was talking to Yogi G about it, and she brought it to my attention, which I mean, I knew, but she brought it even more, and I started researching it. And here she goes, sends me this video. My neighborhood, literally in Ward 5, that if we had flood, we are all gone. And we live in the same area. So fortunate she's a little bit higher than I'm at. But the messed up part, like in DC, east of the river, which is Ward 7 and 8, if we were to have a flood, I don't know what's going to happen to my people east of the river. That's the scary part. But here where I'm at, where it's expensive to live at, we still have issues with the infrastructure. So when she's talking about we're in Trumptopia, those are the things that are very scary. When we saw them floods in Texas, it's sad. But at the end of the day, the people did vote against that Biden infrastructure. Unfortunately, they voted against it. And who would ever think you're voting to send money back? And that's what I was talking about earlier, how when certain areas, certain government sends money through bills that they create, and the state sends it back because of political differences. But sorry, didn't get to show you the video. Hopefully Trevor can get it. I texted to you, Trevor. It's just messed up right here where I live.
Just want to tap in and say what's up to Andrea Jones joining us this afternoon, our good sis over here in the 202 with us. But yeah, I sent it to Anna because we never think about it. Jabowie, words are hard. Don't kill me. Good evening, family. Thank you for tapping in. So yeah, like Anna was saying, I don't think that we often kind of think about those type of logistics when we're trying to figure out, while we're watching what's happening to other parts of the world, aka what was happening in Texas and what was happening in the Carolinas, or what it may still be happening in other spaces, because these are wonky times, right? I just thought it'd be good for us in the 202 to understand that we are not exempt. Okay, first of all, we were born in we were created on a marshland, right? Not to get too into the weeds, but I thought this was interesting, right? So there's only the types of flooding that threaten DC specifically, right? Are tidal flooding, that's sea level rise, riverine flooding, and then we have flash flooding, and then if God should deem it, we have hurricane and tropical storms. But this is what really caught me, right? Is that the at-risk areas. Here we go. Trevor got us. Yeah, so this is the what we would call our Bloomingdale, and is this like LaDroit Park? This is like the North Capitol Noma area.
This is literally right where I live at. This is literally right that street that we're turning on. I live like a block down. This is actually Hanover, the famous Hanover Truxton Circle area. So this is going up North Cap, going all the way to New York Avenue. When you first come into DC, you go through New York Avenue. And that's how bad it was. I had just left because my girlfriend was inviting me, and I got in my truck and I started driving, and I said something ain't right, and debris was everywhere. By the time I got out of my car, I'm only 5'2". That thing was up to my knees. But when she showed me this video, I said that's how it is. So you think about it. You think about like Texas, but we need to be paying attention to our areas too.
Big time. And just
safety precautions with it.
And in case people didn't know what areas those are that are high at risk flood areas, so it, I'm very candid about my love for talking to Professor Chad. Although controversial, and I have spoken about this before, in this moment, I needed Professor Chat. So it says Southwest in Navy Yard, because it's close to the river, Low Lane, Haynes Point, which if you're from the DC area, you know exactly that it's true. Every time we catch a little bit of rain, like our Haynes Point Park is a boat zone. And that's East Potomac Park, Anacostia neighborhoods, which is over half of our poorer population. It's a mixed income, but we know that Ward 7 and 8 need a little more love than other areas, and Ward 5 too. The National Mall, who knew? But hey, that's the Armageddon spot, so nothing said. And like I said, the area that you just saw on there. And while we don't want to leave you without things to consider for that particular topic, that Texas flood was wild. Water level rose 4 to 5 inches in 45 minutes. Man, Trevor, listen, that's what we're saying. That's a metric ton of water in less than an hour. You know, I'm glad that your school system taught you that, Trevor, because DC left me in the lurch. I couldn't even give you that. So I appreciate getting the numbers on that. It says, what does this mean for residents? It says renters and homeowners should check FEMA flood zones and consider flood insurance, even if not required. I didn't even consider that we would need to check on that for FEMA in DC. Community organizers and public officials are advocating for equitable climate resilience plans, especially in historically marginalized neighborhoods, and then Black and low-income residents in Southeast and near Anacostia are disproportionately vulnerable and often excluded from mitigation resources. What am I trying to say to you people? If you haven't considered getting yourself a boat, a raft, or getting closer to your God, then you might want to start looking into making those investments. Outside of that, we have some swimming classes that are happening during the summer at the DPR Rec. You might want to take your family and get in on that, or you can buy you some life vests. So at least for one part of the rapture, you'll be safe and secure. What's next?
Well, DC had a historical flood in 1936. And so I don't know, Trevor, was it, I can't remember. They said within a half an hour in Texas, it was like 18 feet. In DC in 1936, around the Key Bridge over there, east of the river, it said, because we only have sort of like a peninsula, because we're not a state, and we are surrounded by water, except when you get like Potomac, Maryland. That's why we're not considered a peninsula. I grew up in New Jersey. We're a peninsula. It was 18.5 feet within a half an hour. So you imagine, even to this day, you would think that's 1936 here with 2025. For us to leave the city, we wouldn't be able to leave. So the chances of us living in the nation's capital, it would be horrific. It would be horrific. And truth be told, I'm going to swing it back to this, what you were talking about, TOPA. Anything new built after 2018, according to TOPA, they won't give you the deal to be able to purchase it if you were renting and you wanted to buy it. So that's new. So imagine you have an older home that you bought in DC, or you try to purchase. Of course, you already know it's under code. The roofs are caving in and that flood comes through.
Speaking of TOPA, that's a good segue. Do we have that commercial that I sent you on?
I'll send it to him. Just hold on.
So while we're prepping that up, DC has a lot of things moving at one time. Not only do we have Captain Orange himself in our backyard, but we got some pretty shifty things happening in our local government too. Our Ward 8, which is our predominantly Black ward for now, it's going through a shift in leadership. So we got special elections coming in there. If you haven't heard about it, you might want to read on it. We had our current Ward 8 elected official, Councilmember Trayon White, that was under investigation by the FBI for taking bribes. We won't dive into it specifically because we know that it is still sensitive to some of the members and residents of Ward 8, and we want to be respectful. But if you get an opportunity, just read up on it. So we have that going on, and then we have our as I mentioned before, we're going through gentrification, which we always have in DC, but we're going through it in an exacerbated rate right now. Like, a lot of our communities are being dismantled and displaced. We have, last I saw, we had 2,235 families that were sitting in limbo about where they were going to be living because they exhausted our rapid rehousing funding, especially when at the time we had a lot of our Congress people or senators that were taking some of the immigrants or migrants that were coming into Florida and Texas and putting them on buses and dropping them off at the doorstep of the former Vice President, Kamala Harris, which means that DC had inherited busloads and busloads of new residents that needed some assistance. And we were already in the change line, shaking our cuts for a couple of bucks. You know what I mean? So now we have this thing called TOPA, and we have this organization that's called Opportunity DC that is circulating a commercial to tell people in the city that we need to fix TOPA. And I was saying to myself, now TOPA is the tenant opportunity. Oh, let me get it together. Let me get it. Fix TOPA campaign. Thank you, Trevor. And listen, this is Mickey and Trevor, super producers, man. They gonna get us the information.
Yeah, the commercial won't go up. He just texted me. The commercial won't go up. Go through the So this is it's gonna be hard to do the commercial because the commercial's on Instagram.
Okay, and that's where I live at. That's my newspaper, Instagram. So we're gonna have to figure another way for y'all to be able to see these things, right? Because I need for people to know Opportunity DC is a pro-development centrist advocacy group. Man, listen, Sherry Allen, don't get me started. I want to make sure people know about this, but I'm gonna touch on that too when it comes to DC, because they done made a whole little new skid row out of New York Avenue full of the people that we got up off them buses.
Oh, there you go. You could put, this is a video, right?
Okay, Trevor, go ahead, hit it.
Hey there, this is Brian Gormley. If you are listening to this video, that probably means that you're a tenant in DC, and you may be affected by the statute called TOPA, T-O-P-A. It's the Tenant Opportunity to Purchase Act, and it affords tenants a number of rights to buy property, to form tenant associations, and so on. And it's a very difficult, very abstruse, complex, nuanced statute. It was actually enacted, the original version, some 35 years ago. But ironically, very few people know about it outside of real estate professionals. So if you are a tenant and your landlord is trying to sell your property, or you think that they are, or you think that they're trying to kick you out unfairly, or just get you out of the property so they can rehab it and then resell it for a big profit, please get in touch with us, because you likely have a number of rights that you can take advantage of, and we'd like to help you negotiate, whether it's for better conditions in your property, or perhaps some moving money, or whatever. Depends on your situation, obviously. So please do get in touch with us at dctopa.net. All of our contact information is there. And we're on Facebook, facebook.com/DCTOPA. Check us out, and I can't wait to hear from you.
Thank you, Trevor. We appreciate you taking a lot of the work out of my reading is hard. So the reason that I named that is because sometimes when we think that we have people that are working for our greater good, we have to go the extra mile to vet these people. And there's an organization right now that's called Opportunity DC that has a commercial that has been circulating on social media.
You bet. Well, finish your thought. Finish your thought and then read that.
All right, expose my ADD like that. That's crazy, Trevor. We'll put that up on the screen. So long and short is it's a 501c4. And so there's a great book, because I know A10 loves book, that's called Winner Takes All, and it's Anodin, and I can't say the rest, but I'll make sure that we get it to you, get it to the people so you can read on it. And Winner Takes All talks about how a lot of these organizations that have what's the word? That have developer interests, which is what Opportunity DC is. They're a grassroots organization that presents as if it presents as if it is on the side of the tenants, but it really is what you consider to be dark money, which is why I mentioned Winner Takes All, because it talks about how a lot of these companies and industries will start baby companies or grassroots organizations and invest into them to try to make sure that what they want passed in legislation happens. And why it's important, Trevor, I'm sorry, Winner Takes All, it's not about Vegas. Wait, here you go. I got it. Everybody want to go to Vegas so bad. It's this. Winner Takes All. Can you see it? The elite charade of changing the world.
Oh, good. He put it up there.
Yep. There we go. There we go. Now you got it. Can't say you don't know. You know better, you do better. But to follow up on Opportunity DC, I saw a lot of my good friends that I know could really benefit from TOPA, TOPA being intact. And while they're working to dismantle TOPA, Opportunity DC is presenting as if we need to have our council members fix TOPA. That is not what we need to happen right now, especially because our mayor is trying to pass a rental act. So give me a moment to dive more into that. But Anna, just off that a little bit, do you have any insight for it?
Well, the unfortunate part, when you look at it, they always tell you when, I've rented for a long time, and I still rent. But renting when I was, how do you say that? I was renting a place on the hill, and the gentleman was getting older and he wanted to sell his place, but instead of him offering it to me to buy, he had already went to, because it's Capitol Hill, the property's worth a lot. So I had actually went down to the courthouse to find out what my rights are. And you would think you go into a resource place, they're going to assist you. Unbeknownst to me, they were actually talking me out of my rights. And at that time, I was a lot younger. And it was when I first came to DC, telling me that the building, it needed this and needed that, not knowing that I was in a historical area. So a lot of times, a lot of people don't even recognize when they're renting. A lot of people come to buy up the property, and you're supposed to have first dibs to, put your offer. They're supposed to offer it to you to buy, but they have so many, like they say, the word loopholes. But the loopholes are literally written in the contract. And the less educated you are on your rights on purchasing and owning, the quicker they are to run game on you. That was my experience with it a long time ago. I kind of ran away from it because it like I said to you earlier when I was texting you back, I said, it's in the motherfucking contract. They don't give a crap.
No, they don't give a crap. People need to understand that this is the nation's capital. And if you need a real visual, if you're a movie buff like myself, Hunger Games would be a great way to think of how we're dealing with being in the nation's capital. It literally is made the odds forever be in your favor. If you are, as the song say for the youngest, brokey, you don't belong here. And that's not okay. Especially, I don't think it's okay for anybody that has decided to make DC their home, but damn sure not okay for me being somebody that you was responsible for educating and preparing to be an asset. And now you're going to tell me I'm part of the problem and try to push me out. But that's just my way of speaking on it. All right, Trevor, what we got going on? I can't see. I got bad eyes. DC won't give me
2025. The thing he was talking about. So I can't talk about my mayor because I do work for the mayor.
You
But
heard
what
what
I
she said.
can,
Her mayor.
but what I can say, there is a universal, not just here in DC, where they are penalizing people for being poor and not being able to pay their rent. And you're seeing this everywhere. Like you're a criminal because you can't pay your rent. When half these buildings are not even up to code, you're not even being fixed. And going back to, I'm gonna read Yvette's thing because it actually has to do with this. You look at even the house currently I'm in. If I was to buy this house, I wouldn't be able to afford it. But going back to what she says, also in DC, there are underground streams that wreak havoc on sewer systems. The flooding is also caused by backflow from the drain lines. You look at our pipes, which I know you're aware of, Yolanda. Our pipes still need to be fixed. They haven't fixed all of our pipes in DC with the water problem. And it's the same thing in Flint. According to DC, it's fixed, but it's not. So you look at, do you want to buy? And so the tempting thing is, I want to keep renting, but how long am I going to survive renting in DC when gentrification is at an all-time high?
Let me tell
you.
And
gentrification doesn't mean white. Gentrification meaning people with those rotating dollars that make a lot of money are coming up in here. So it doesn't matter what race they are. They're gentrifying the area because they're not from here. And they're coming to take and remove anything that they feel is not for them. But that doesn't mean that some don't come with good stuff. But sometimes they come and they want to erase what's here.
I like what Sherry Allen said, Trevor. You can get us up there. Yeah. They want people to rent because they can go up on rent when they want to, because causing some tenants to be displaced or homeless. Man, one day we got a ride through some of our prominent, I only know how to refer to them as hood, you know what I mean? Like our hoods, but I say it with all the love in the world because I'm a product of both adventures in DC. I'm both hood and our middle class or working class neighborhoods. But the hood made me, you know what I mean? And so, like, to go through it now and just to see so many families no longer existed. If you ever come to DC and you ever been on our south side, especially the Anacostia, you know what it means to hear Berry Farms. Like, that's where we held a lot of our and one competitions and stuff like that. And now it looks like a ghost town. And the only thing that they've done thus far is put up a senior living home, which is crazy to think, you know, like listen, I don't want to get into this space. I love our seniors. But we also know the theory behind that, why you want to start erecting a lot of senior living, because our seniors, unfortunately, you know, we can't say how long they're going to be here, but we know they're going to go. And probably maybe not like the YNs are going, but, you know, they got their time frame is a little more feasible for the change that DC is embarking upon. Trevor, would you say rent can always change and you get no financial equity to buy? Getting a fixed mortgage, your payment stays the same, and you get more home for your money. I don't know what you get here for DC. Listen, you got an efficiency that you're bound to pay like maybe $1,200 or more for, and that's so for you just have somewhere to put your stuff. That's not including the fees for the trash, the fees for the pet, the fees for the parking, because you can't even park around here. It is a war zone. But let me not go too far off of it, right? The reason that I want to really highlight this opportunity DC commercial is because I saw a lot of my friends and family who liked this. And I want to let you know they are not our friends. Opportunity DC is our ops. And what they want is shortening tenant timelines to act when property is sold. That means that if they sell the property, you won't have enough time to be able to galvanize together with your fellow tenants to be able to rent the building and have control of that. They want exempting new or renovated buildings from TOPA protection. Once again, TOPA is Tenant Opportunity to Purchase Act. And why that is a bad thing is because DC got nothing but new condos and things popping up. So if it excludes all the new buildings that are being erected in DC, and we're not able to have autonomy as tenants to buy it should the developers bail out, we're back at square one. Right, Devin Turner. What's that, Luana Terry? Thank you, Luana Terry. Words are hard. I'm still just as excited to see you. And then streamlining sales to prevent delays in property transactions, because money got to continue to make money. I literally sat in a meeting with our DC housing committee chair, or whatever his big title is, and that man said to us that their priority is progress in the District of Columbia as a city. And that's just where it lays. The city is here to make money, not make friends amongst the people. So, like, if you do happen to see this commercial that I'm talking about, please do your due diligence to really check into Opportunity DC. Don't take my word for it. Do the research to have your own. So yeah, I just wanted to take the time to tap on that. And I know we talked about.
Oh no, I was gonna give a thought on this because of what we're talking about.
Hit it.
Can you guess, Yogi G, how much you have to make in DC to afford to buy a home in DC?
Oh man, it's a trigger question. I don't know how much.
Just take a lucky guess. You know, the thing is, like, when you go to rent or even when you go to buy, you need to make 3 times the amount of the rent, right? And so, you know, in DC, nothing is 2,000. Everything is over 2,000, pretty much. I mean, unless you're in a studio, which studios be $2,100. So I'm going to read to you what it says here, and I'm just blown. I mean, here Trevor I'm thinking.
Trevor said 80,000. Hey, ladies.
No,
Trevor, what's up,
actually, 80,000 is a good amount, but it's still not enough to buy a home. So you would need to make 150,000 a year to live comfortably. That doesn't mean you living good. Comfortably. So that means you can't have no kids. Because if you got any kids, that's going to drop down 20,000 for each one of those kids. And then it says pretty much you need your salary to live really good in DC, 250,000 a year. And those are the people that are moving into DC. They're making 250 and up. I remember you remember when the mayor had the budget forum and the guy that was sitting at our table, I was with Victor. Actually, I was sitting with Victor. And the guy was like, well, why don't we, because we were talking about where we were moving money at. And I was like, get rid of that money for some veterinarian clinic. We don't need no new veterinarian clinic. And, you know, people just want to put money for anything. I said, we need money for Medicaid. We need money for health. We need money for program, mental health. She's like, no. She said, we need more money to develop. And so the guy's idea at our table was, why don't we go to Arlington, Virginia, and get he said it out of his mouth, young single white males to move into DC, because we all know that DC no longer is pretty much building 3 bedrooms and up. They're all like they're studios, they're 1 bedrooms. And if you get a 2 bedroom, you better have 4 Gs. She might be even more than that. So the guy's idea was, because we got to build up, and I understand it. But I just wanted to say that $250,000. So that could be 2 people in the house, 1 person. I thought my little bit of money was looking good. It still ain't looking good.
I told you last time we was on here, the DC native at its most natural form, meaning you were birthed in the DC hospital and you were educated in the DC school system, on an average makes $46,000, and that's being nice. But a person that's coming in transient native makes up to $146K, and according to Honor, more than that. With this, listen. Trevor said, so this is why on all the dating profiles, ladies are looking for men that make 6 figures. You better, Trevor, because listen, that's just for you halfway to live. We ain't even talked about what's happening in our DC education system that's going to have you coming out the pocket even more. but you know, there's still time. There's still time to get down to it. We still got to talk about Honest Boss and how she doing us wrong. Get little King Cooper Bowser over there and do a little comparison, because they keep telling us that we need more money, we need more funding, we need more push out to help our youth out here because they out here wild, and not all of them, but the majority of them. And now that I know y'all can't see none of my lovely videos from Instagram, I gotta find another way to get this to y'all, because
You gotta download them.
yeah, 4th of July was popping around here. I know what it looked like in other spaces, but
Segue into that, Yolanda, the new beautiful curfew.
Yes, and I was hoping that we can give you a visual. They have now updated the curfew zones, and we're gonna have to see how we can get that to you guys too, for the youth. Let me see, because I sent it to you on a kind of call out some areas that people should be aware. So as of today, because today is Friday, July 11th. If you have your youth that are out here and about, you want to be aware that the juvenile curfew zone runs from Virginia Avenue Southeast all the way through M Street, 8th Street, and Potomac Avenue Southeast.
Oh, he got the thing up. Look, he found it.
Man, I'm gonna have to send you some more Red Bulls, man. Listen, from DC to Ye.
I can pay you with some Red Bulls.
Huge sucker. Yeah, that's what I said, the Red Bulls and stuff. So what that means is that the general curfew in DC, if your student or your child is 17 years or younger, is 11 p.m. That means that you cannot have your child out here in these streets without having you and your ID to be next to them.
Your real ID.
Your real ID, not the fake one. And if you don't know what a real ID is, put it in the chat and we'll do another show on that. But also the juvenile, as you see, Trevor has it up here, so lovely. I wish you got to do the Vine the Black thing. The juvenile curfew zones are pretty much where the money resides, and they don't want the youngest going over there messing up the bag. So they said that for y'all that want to come into this curfew zone, you can't be here. Would it say before 8 p.m.? I can't read that. Trevor, can you read that for me?
Oh, before 8 p.m. or end after 6 a.m.
Okay. All right. We need to work on that. I feel crazy. I'm sitting here leaning into the camera, squinching like this. I ain't that old just yet.
That's why I got these glasses on.
Yeah.
I don't know about in Flint. Well, in DC, we're known for the fireworks, and they were talking about it. So this is kind of pretty much what this is too. The fireworks that were going off, the young folks that were, I don't know if they were by the Navy or wherever they were at. They were popping the fireworks.
Trevor,
and people were kind of upset. Oh, he highlighted. They were kind of upset about the fireworks. And pretty much the people that are just moving into the area were like, they should ban them from doing fireworks. And I said, man, this is the nation's capital. This is America's birthday. How do we look like telling DC residents in the nation's capital you cannot do fireworks because you do not like seeing all those kids outside? Reality is, this is DC. You're going to hear some boom. You're going to hear some fireworks to probably 4 or 5 in the morning. It's normal. We're in the nation's capital. But the unfortunate part is, the unfortunate part, we do have kids that do things they shouldn't do. That's a whole other conversation. The whole other conversation. Why are they out there? Where's their parents? Or did they, kids do sneak out the house. Parents do be sleeping. But for me, when they were talking about getting rid of the fireworks, I said, no, I would go with the curfew. But is the curfew going to really work if a lot of these kids are in the system or homeless?
I mean,
I don't know what's your thought.
Trevor, you need to put that back up because I don't think people understand this part, right? Like, while we are all, me and Anna are all for kids. This is what we do. We've been doing this for years, being the voice of like parents and kids and making sure that they were honored and had space to say what they needed to say. But even on this one, man, I had to be like, I don't even know. If I could show you, there's a video that's circulating on 4th of July where we literally had our youngins, our YNs, or our youth, right? That were riding around on line bikes. Those are the rented bikes that they have for tourists, but we use it as city transportation. And we're shooting fireworks into the businesses in the Navy Yard area, which is where the money resides in DC outside of Georgetown, which is how we ended up here on June 11th, where we now have this nice little expedited curfew because it was a little more lenient than what it is today, but they had to make some adjustments per the behavior of some of our youth. So it says a parent or legal. So just want you to know what is at stake if your child is caught out here in these streets during curfew hours. It says a parent or legal guardian or a juvenile age 17 and under commits an offense if he or she knowingly permits or by insufficient control slows. What is that word?
Here, I got it up on a larger screen.
Thank
So
you,
a parent or legal guardian of a juvenile age 17 or under commits an offense if he or she knowingly permits or by insufficient control allows a minor to violate the curfew law. Any adult who violates the Juvenile Curfew Act is subject to a fine not to exceed $500 or community service. A minor who violates the curfew may be ordered to perform up to 25 hours of community service. Getting slapped for $500 because my kid decides to walk out the front door could be rather problematic.
Trevor, didn't you just hear we say we struggling? I'm scratching and surviving, barely making it. $500 is $5,000 in my book. So I
guess y'all gonna be doing some community service.
That's if the judge likes you.
If and do you know where we are? I'll say it again, kids, people didn't catch it. We are in Trumptopia. We are right in the smack dab middle of it. And once again, because I now know that I can add Trevor to my Facebook and give him these videos, I would have showed you that nice video of Trump saying that he was going to take over DC.
I remember that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So,
let me pop down. Let me see if I can go find that for you.
Thanks, Trevor. Thanks. See if you can find me a therapist after this too, Trevor, because I might need one. But yeah, we just wanted to go ahead and highlight that good point as we go into the weekend, so that not only are the youth aware that they are out in these streets looking for you, but also the parents who might need to come up with a new security system if you should have a student that is,
So are they going to take $500 from their TANF? They're going to take $500 from their stamps? Or are they going to take $500 off their voucher if the parents don't have any income coming in? I'm trying to figure out how they're going to get this money.
Anything is possible in this land.
Because pretty much to live in DC, you need help. You need a subsidy, pretty much. You need 2 to 3 jobs.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know that we are hitting people with a lot of things, and I do have to say this for a moment while we have the mic. Life is hard, and it's hitting us harder each and every day and moment by moment. I think that the biggest part of what I would like to just remind people is, one, to breathe, okay? And then 2, read. Breathe and read. The 2 most basic things that you can do. And hopefully when you read it, you learn something. Yeah. Because this is a lot to take in. And believe you me, every day something is shifting over here in these DC streets. Words are hard, Trevor. Words are really hard, especially when you have been educated in the District of Columbia back in the day when I was. I'm barely making it out here.
Former President Donald Trump back on the campaign trail today, holding a rally with his VP pick, J.D. Vance, in Atlanta. He addressed several topics, including crime in the district.
We will take over the horribly run capital of our nation in Washington, D.C., and clean it up, renovate it, rebuild our capital city so there's no longer a nightmare of murder and crime. We're going to stop the murder and crime. You go down from your state, you end up getting mugged, murdered in our capital. It'll be run tough and strong by our great police officers, but rather we will become the most beautiful capital anywhere in the world. I could say again, but it's been so badly run for so long, I almost don't want to say again.
What you're going to do is get broke living in DC. You're not going to own nothing. You're going to be broke. And you're going to be trying to figure out how you're going to get your gas. You muted, Yogi.
Damn, that's how traumatized I was when I seen that. Like, I thought Trevor was gonna just play the clip. He played the whole thing, and I was just sitting having a whole moment. Listen, I messed up my throat. I was so frazzled. I was like, damn. Man, listen. Trump is inciting violence across the country. Yes, yes, yes. You know, we weren't doing too shabby ourselves, but certainly.
I would say the crazy part is I grew up with Donald Trump. I'm from New Jersey. I grew up, I seen him many times growing up. I used to go to the Trump Taj Mahal, he was it's just, if you go to New Jersey before, when people were voting, a lot of black men and black women and brown people, and everybody in New Jersey was voting for Trump, because I don't know this Trump. So it makes me think this man ain't doing nothing that no other president has done. He's being told what to do. He just loves to be on the camera and be noticed. He's like a reality star. So I just think he's not that bright to come up with some of this crazy stuff he be saying. So these are other people that are working, putting these things together. Okay, enough about the politics. Because that stuff right there would drive you crazy.
It's 7:53. What you got?
I don't know. You want to look at some comments? From what let me see. I haven't even looked at the comments to tell you.
Yeah, man, we've been on here rapping to Trevor and Sherry Allen. Everybody else, I guess, just listening to us. We are a conversational. Is that a word? Words are hard. I think it is.
You Jesse Jackson.
Hey man, listen. Did you just see that clip that Trevor just said? Oh man, look at that. Yes.
Oh, I got a clip before we go out because I said I was going to share it, and I
look at that. The federal workers were fired. Yep. Yes. Yep.
You said that thing with the state. I'm gonna send Trevor a little part of this clip so he can laugh. So we could.
I think this is the trend all over America. Poor people are being pushed out for where they live. Trump is trumping. Hey, listen, I know Mickey has a special that he's working on for the big, beautiful bill. And, when 810 or whichever show premieres that conversation, we'll be tapping right in behind you because, baby,
it's right here.
That big busted bill might have all of us rethinking our citizenship, right? I will say this though, what I find to be crazy is the fact that lady got up there on that podium and said that people who are currently receiving Medicaid can replace the people that we working on the farms. And I was thinking to myself, I ain't never. Now my family from Orangeburg, South Carolina, but just because my family from Orangeburg, South Carolina used to working on them sharecrop roads, don't mean Yolanda is, but I'm guessing if I still can't make no money because they ain't educated me to be marketable, I might be learning how to shuck some potatoes or whatever they do in that country grounds. Because I don't know where else to go. I don't know what else to do. So, anybody got any suggestions? You put that in the chat too. Because I'm trying to get me and mine out of here. And I'm not quite Underground Railroad ready. That means that my kneecap capacity to run ratio ain't quite meeting up just yet. So I don't think I'm gonna be making no sprints out into the valley anywhere. I'm currently working on my girlish figure, so I don't think like our ancestors that had squeeze up in attics and stuff. I don't think I'd be a candidate for that. So I got some consideration and thinking to do, and things to work on so that I could be back to slavery ready. Let's see. Says, Trevor said, I like the gun parts of the BBB. We know you do, Trevor. We've seen that background. I might have to come on out to Florida so we can go, so I can get some lessons on the pow and the pyong-pyongs, because as you heard what Donald Trump said, apparently we live in the most dangerous city in the world. Never knew it. It was just DC to me, but, it's him. And then you said, Trevor followed up by saying, give me suppressors and SBRs without taxes, please. P90 with long barrel just looks depressed. Trevor, you are speaking in a language that is foreign to me. You said, sure, but my firearms are illegal in DC. I can guarantee you they may be illegal, Trevor, but they are probably still here. Yeah, see, Maria Carter said get to that open range. I'm all for it. Listen, there comes a time where you gotta make some decisions whether or not you want to be the contributor of some people going up to meet them. And once again, it's a movie buff. If you ever seen The Purge, you either participate or you become a part of the participation. I don't know if that made sense, but it sounded right to me. We're gonna keep it moving. All right, Anna, what you got? We got a couple more minutes to hold these people time before they go frolic on the Friday. You on mute, man.
Lord have mercy. I'm just running my mouth and I'm muted.
That's so, that Gen X, man.
Trevor, I sent you a look, millennial. You was muted earlier.
Right,
Trevor,
you got me.
Trevor, I sent you a video. Put it on, and then when it's done going off, it's just a little treat. It's not the whole video. I want to add this to our just a thought because this person allowed me to record them, and it was a treat. And I think everybody would love to see it. Did you get it, Trevor? Let me see that it go through.
Sherry Allen. She shared that Lawrence O'Donnell, news anchor, suggested that Americans need to get a passport card to carry on yourself to prove that you are a U.S. citizen. Yeah, Sherry Allen, I think that's a great idea. Once again, as somebody who is struggling on all accounts in the DC structure, a passport is on my vision board right now, not on my immediate I got funding list, but that is a thing to make sure that you do. You're absolutely right. You want to get your passport, and also we need to consider what dual citizenship looks like. That's just my personal opinion. Have you ladies started a garden? Man, in my mind, another thing that needs to come to the forefront. Maria, I think my green thumb might be a little deceased. Every time I try to buy a plant, it never stays with me. That might be an omen. I don't know. You're gonna have to teach me something, Maria. Is that something you do? How the tomato plants are great. Trevor, we're gonna have to talk. Cause what you say?
The internet.
Now y'all know the secret. Anna is in here in the middle of a cave. You see how dark it is back there?
I'm waiting for this thing. He got an Android. I can't stand Android. Stop.
Anna, you done built you a bunker and they even share the location. What's that, man? Like, damn, you gonna leave me out here in the street?
I just cannot believe I have all my bars up and it's saying that's because Trevor's in the woods. He's in Florida in the woods.
We talking about you and these bunkers that you sitting in right now that you can't send out no internet. See, ain't that be your own people?
Keep talking. I'm gonna stand up so this thing could go through because he needs. This thing getting on my nerves. Ask Trevor, does he have Facebook on Messenger?
Trevor said in the woods with fiber internet.
He said what?
He in the woods with fiber internet. Well, listen, you better talk to Trevor one more time and see it's 8:00 on the dot, and we don't know these people Friday night.
It is Friday night.
We can run a few minutes, and if you send it to me on Messenger, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna end up doing. Let me mute so you can't hold on. You got to.
I told you, Trevor, that's the she done got a bunker on me, Trevor.
She's got a bunker. I'm thinking of building a bunker. She's already got one, and she's in DC, so she's making six figures. I mean,
you heard what she said earlier, right? Her mayor. So now I know. Maybe I need to switch over.
That's how she got her bunker. Her mayor made it for her.
See, it be your own people. I'm gonna be recording Friday. I'm gonna be recording down the river with the last little bit of bar I got, and she's gonna be sinking that bunker right there. It's cool.
You're gonna be flooded out on your door as a raft. You're just gonna be like, so where's this bunker, Anna?
She'll never tell. I'll be 20 miles into Alexandria, Virginia on the door by the time I get that info.
I mean, at least you're floating south. You're getting closer to me. I'll come pick you up. I might have to go talk with Mr. Tommy. Go get his fishing trolley. Come get you.
Trevor, by then I'm putting my own out. It's above me now. Okay, I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to go see what the next journey is going by then.
You know, if it starts flooding, make sure you have a fishing pole in your house, right? That way you can just fish while you're out there and relax a little bit, you know?
Trevor,
No?
how kind of you to think that I can even afford a fishing pole right now? The best I can get you is a rat on the end of a stick and hope it do its job.
I mean, you can improvise one. You can get some, you know, some thin strings and some fishing hooks. And maybe you can find, like, I don't know, maybe a kid drops some gummy bears or something, put those on a hook. Now, you have to be careful with them gummy bears, though, because if they happen to be THC, you're going to have a really weird acting fish.
I'm gonna leave that right there because I might incriminate myself, but you right on that one. You're right on that one, Trevor. Yeah.
I recently found out that they can sell marijuana down here in Florida as long as it doesn't exceed a certain amount of beta THC. So you get THCB. That's fine and dandy, but when it cooks, when you add heat to it, it's beta THC, then it becomes illegal. So you can have a joint, but you can't smoke a joint. Florida weird. Florida's weird.
Yeah. I mean, for several reasons, Trevor, you know, but having you there makes it a little cooler, okay?
I mean, I'm right on the Georgia border too, so I'm like straddling both these states right now. I just got back from Georgia a couple hours ago. I go up there to buy my cigarettes.
You on stress, right? You on both ends of the spectrum. Listen,
I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Like just a little bit ago, when me and Anna were in the background, there were some gunshots. I'm like, oh, my neighbor's just out there having fun. Whereas if I were in Flint, when I was in Flint, I was sitting there going, all right, what do I need to load now? Because that's getting wild. This guy's, you know, he's just shooting a rifle, but in Flint, you'd hear several rounds very quickly. The same stuff I used to play with in the Army. You would hear multiple firearms going off at once. You're like, man, either it's a party and someone's just having fun, or it's a party and someone's not having fun really quick.
Yeah, you said, what are you going to load? And we just be like, lay low. You know, some of us loading up, but the rest of us is just hitting the flow. I want to say have a great weekend to everybody that is, you know, having to leave. We understand it's Friday. We just trying to get this little video up and popping so that we can leave y'all off on a good note. And hopefully you learned something. And if not,
She's got full bars in her cave. Just a thought. Maybe she needs to connect her phone to her computer so it sends better. She's freaking out.
No, what's crazy? I see that you hit me up and said hiya. And the video, look. Hold on. Oh, y'all can't see this.
Man, that is bright. I mean, that's because you're in the dark.
Listen, Trevor,
I see a video. We
it?
Can do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, Trevor already exposed my bad ass once. I don't need two when he be.
Did you get it, Trevor?
Yeah. I'm about to.
I'm trying to figure out how he got it.
Your bunker let a signal through.
There it goes. Oh, the volume. Rewind it back and then put the
Hello, New York. I mentioned it.
That's what he calls me.
Flint City Hall council meeting at 4 o'clock, but we gotta wait till 4:30 to get in. The day is June 18th. I'm supposed to get my social security, a phone call. And believe it or not, I missed the phone call because I couldn't get in my daddy and mama house over there. And then when I went to the coffee place down the street on East, somebody said, Mr. Mitchell, we know where you've been hanging out at. We had a phone call. And now I went downstairs, and guess what? They said, I'll never get my social security card. My social security, if you don't make this phone call, sound like they know what they're talking about, but security getting so, just like crossing the border at going to Buffalo, New York. I used to go there by myself with my 69 Grand Prix. You go, now they say you go across the border, you might not never get back. That's just what Social Security office do now. Come in there with a lighter or a 90 king, gotta make the appointment all over. And I just I thought for sure I was gonna get a check every week, but at the last moment, they said you gotta wait till about the next. Hello, New York.
That's
I'm
it,
not gonna mention it.
Trevor. I just wanted to let everyone see. He asked me to record him. I didn't even say. He said, "I want you to record me, New York." And I have a 15-minute video, which all of it cannot go up, but it's different parts. But even there in Flip, he said he ain't getting his Social Security check, and so I'm gonna leave y'all at that. What we're going through is we are not getting our subsidies, and it's going to get bad. So here, I just wanted y'all to share that video. He is hilarious, but he knows what he's talking about.
All right, good people, listen. I just always remember, this is what it do from the 202. I'm your girl, Yogi G, and this is Honor. And what we want you to remember out of the conversation that we had today is that on July 14th, the council will be voting on the Rental Act. We want you to inform yourself, inform your community, and make your own decisions and challenge your council members to do what's right for us so that we can have some leeway to still be able to be a part of this great vision of the DC. We don't have to be pushed out for us to be progressive. I hope that you find some way to recapture your peace before we get back into these conversations, especially for our A10 News Media Group family. We hope to see you next Friday, same place, same time, 7 p.m. on A10. Deuces.